Good afternoon, students, and I want to wish you all a great afternoon and hoping that you're all enjoying the class. So currently we're in week 6, and so far what we've done is that we've talked a lot about writing, and we talked a lot about how we write what we know. That seems to have been the most popular citation for the citation reflection assignment. And I agree, with Geraldine Brooks. You write what you know because only you can write about your life. And as an Asian American, I love writing about my experiences as an Asian American in order to give people an idea that Asian Americans are just as American as everyone else. I remember when they first started having everybody wear a mask, and many Asian Americans were hesitant to wear the mask because we would think, well, then only our eyes would be showing. And many Asian Americans were afraid that if only their eyes were showing, it would mark us as being the other, because slanty eyes have always been associated with the other or the enemy, as in World War II movies. And so next week, upcoming in week 7, we're going to be listening to a very exciting lecture by a prominent African writer. And she's going to talk about the dangers of one story, that is, the dangers of believing in stereotypes and only knowing very little about other groups and other people. And she talks about how the dangers of only knowing one side of a story, or only limited about what you know about other cultural groups or other cultural anything. And so the dangers of one story means the dangers of just seeing everything from one perspective or one side, and that we should all learn everybody's perspective from everybody's side, because the world is a very diverse place, as you can see from my background. That's why I did it using Google instead of my usual Zoom background. And so next week, especially with Juneteenth weekend coming up this weekend, week 7, we are going to be celebrating our diversity. So the U.S. is made up of a melting pot of diverse groups, and each group celebrates its own diverse heritage. And each immigrant writer writes about what they know about their immigrant experience. And so next week we will talk about diversity. We will talk about the uniqueness of each of us, and how no one group or person is better than any other group or person. Instead, we are all simply different, and that we should celebrate our differences. And we also can learn to appreciate the world, for God loves all of us, regardless of where we are, because we are all God's children. And we are all God's children in our diversity, and in our diverse interests, and also in our diverse beauty. So that will be the theme of next week's talk. So if you have any questions about any of your assignments, and I also want to know how you're doing in your quizzes, I just posted to the announcements all of the quiz notes for weeks 1 through 8. And if you're missing a quiz, and if you want to retake a quiz, you can always email me your request. And I want everybody to participate in the celebration of Juneteenth and in the celebration of our diversity next week. And I hope that you all enjoy the Dangers of One Story lecture that's going to be occurring next week. It's my favorite week out of all of the weeks, because we all get to talk about where we come from. We all get to so in the week 7 lecture, week 7 discussion, you could also talk a little bit about your own family history and give us all a glimpse as to how you guys came to the United States and your family history, because we all want to celebrate the diversity of who we are and the beauty of all of God's children.